Guys, we're back. Episode 5.
Welcome, welcome.
Feels like way more than 5, but we'll go with 5, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
It's been fun. We're gonna have a good time tonight. This is a unique one.
looking forward to it.
Yeah. We got my little man here, Flynt.
What's up?
Yeah, Flynt Rock.
You ready to do this, buddy?
Yeah, let's go.
Little
All right.
Curry with more hair.
Yeah.
I remember when his dad used to have hair like that.
That was a long time ago.
A long time ago. Now I'm way past the guards.
Well, I'm staring at you right now, and you are completely slick bald. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I even freshened it up this morning,
Right.
It looks nice, by the way.
I like calling you Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
Flynt, you know me and your dad used to be in a band together, right? Back when he had hair like you.
Yep.
Wait, actually,
Yep.
what did you play, Dad?
The bass.
What did
Well,
you play?
I actually played the bass too, so
Well, we were both.
our band wasn't that good. It was mainly bass.
I don't know.
So-
For 10-year-olds, I thought it was pretty good.
We would jump off amps and stuff, and rock on and play as loud as grunge pedals. You remember we had all the
Oh,
grunge
yeah.
pedals.
Well, the
Who
thing
was the
is,
singer?
Curry.
No, not really. You had Mackenzie and Christian, and they were doing their little...
yeah, this was before it was
Yeah.
Forgiven. This
So
was,
y'all are doing
well,
the hokey
I mean,
pokey?
technically it was Forgiven, the beginning part of it.
Pretty
but
popular stuff, but
Yeah,
anyway.
It was great.
Tremendous, I can say. Look, I was the
We had a
adult
music
at that
video
time, and it was
at
really
one
good.
point. Yeah.
For young people. It's very good.
But those days are long gone for you with your hair. So I was going to tell you, Curry, I had something happen this past weekend,
Oh, here we go.
and I always have a story to lead it out with. But
Absolutely.
This one's pretty crazy.
I want to hear it because I got one too.
All
So-
right, I want to hear them.
I
So
do
obviously
too.
we talked thermal coyote hunting. So I decided to go. My brother-in-law Kyle goes with me. We go to a spot in Indian Springs, which is in Jackson. We get out there, and you park up on a big hill, and we hunt from the top of this hill, and we overlook a big, probably 20-acre field. It's huge.
Nice.
It's perfect for coyote hunting. So, but every time I get there, I get out of the truck and I immediately get my gun out and scan the field because there's a lot of pigs down there, as well as coyotes, but a lot of pigs. Well, I start scanning and I'm like, I saw something over there, on this side, on the left side of the field. And I'm like, I think that's probably pigs. So we ease up to where we're going to sit. And my brother-in-law has the gun and he's scanning. He said, I think there's a pig right there. So I said, let me see the gun. So I start looking and I'm like, I know the depth perception. You know what I'm talking about, Curry. Like if you've hunted somewhere with a thermal and you've never seen it in the daylight, you don't know the depth perception of where you're hunting.
Right.
Like, but I've seen a deer standing in the same spot, so I know the size of a deer in that spot.
Right.
So I'm like, if that's a pig, that's the biggest pig I've ever seen in my life.
Big
or it's
one,
two
big one.
pigs like in front of each other.
Right.
And I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, let me set this tripod up. So set the tripod up, and I'm staring at it and looking at it. And this thing is moving around in ways I don't know what's going on. And it stands up on its back
Stands up?
legs, and it's
What?
a black bear.
Wow.
No doubt about it.
Bro.
In Jackson.
That's too cool.
And so I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do now. So I'm calling people. I'm like, what do I do? They're like,
I heard
don't
there
know.
were bear over there.
And so I have my buddy Ryan, they have a property probably 15 minutes from there, and it has a black bear on it. They have it on trail camera and everything. How
Wow.
crazy is that? Like,
That's crazy.
and we walk to the deer. We
Interesting.
walk to the deer stand in the mornings in the dark at this place. What are you going to do if you run into that thing?
Run,
Oh,
scream like a little
And,
girl.
and
Yeah.
I'm talking about not like a bear you see. Oh, it's in the park and it's a little small cub. Like when this thing stood up, I'm like, what is that blob? When it
Wow.
stood up, I'm like, oh my goodness, like a big black bear. And apparently apparently the males get kicked out. There's a news article about it in Jackson. The males will like start kicking out other male bears, and they'll start running down the rivers. Like in Macon, there's a big population of black bears in Macon.
Really?
And they start pushing each other out. And I guess some females come and they populate. And
I had heard that.
I've heard
I didn't-
rumors, this is breaking news, rumors from the top in Butts County.
wow.
There might be a bear season in the next 3 or 4 years.
No way.
That's crazy.
That's a rumor coming from the top. I'm not going to say who, but coming from the top in Butts County. So,
Wow.
I'm down.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But weird scenario happened to me. I was out hunting, and like I said, I a lot of time have my thermal set up. And
Bougie
I have it
hunting.
linked. Yes, I have it linked to my
For real.
my iPad, and I was sitting in the island at the island, and watching my iPad. And it was kind of later at night, and I was still doing some work on my laptop and whatnot. And all of a sudden, I heard the loudest bang, but it wasn't a gunfire bang. It was just like you could tell something fell over.
Something crashed.
Well, I sit right by my door where I put my thermal. So
You're
like
saying you heard it like in person, or you heard it on your
No, I heard
iPad?
it in person. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I look out the window because that's where I heard it come from. My gun with the thermal on it is still locked into the bog pod, and it is laying on its side.
How long has it been laying out there?
That's what I'm saying. The noise was it falling.
Okay.
So it just happened. But this thing, one of the legs collapsed on the bog pod. Still
Holy
tight.
cow.
Still
Well, it's a good thing your thermal's really cheap too.
right. So
Yeah,
obviously,
right.
for
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of money.
right. So long story short, ever since then, it will not stay. If it comes on, it will only stay on for maybe a minute to 10 minutes.
So is a faulty bog pod leg or?
Yeah, I mean, so I took a video, I sent it to BogPod. They are somewhat doing something about it, and I do appreciate the little that they are doing. They're sending me a new one, but it's the carbon fiber one, so it's
A
like
new bog pod, not
Yes.
a new thermal.
not a new thermal. I asked them if they could take care of the thermal or at least help me pay to repair it. It's an absolutely not.
Yeah.
So now I'm stuck with this thermal, which is fine. I mean, I get it. It is kind of we've had those things, 2 years? Well, mine, I guess,
You've had yours longer than mine.
maybe 2 years. And,
Yeah,
and
about that
technology has came a long way, even in the thermal world since then.
Well,
but-
it does stink though, because like I've dropped mine off my sling before. Just my gun fell off, like the sling came undone, and it fell, and the barrel hit the ground. But nothing like that affects the thermal. But
Yeah.
you're always like freaking out, like you're not even worried about the gun necessarily. You're
Oh,
like,
no. And
I just
that's
hope
what I
this
was
scope
saying.
is okay.
Right. I would have rathered it fell and like broke the barrel
Right.
in half.
Right.
Like, I mean,
That's how much the thermals are. It's like I don't care
And
about
this
the
one-
gun it's on.
this one
Wow.
I paid it was a $3,500 thermal, but now that's the same thermal's like $2,000, and now you got, which I have been looking
They have
into
one
the
up.
RIX,
Yes.
the Storm 6, which our buddy has, and that's one I'm probably going to go with, but I'm not going to do anything.
It's hard to be
Well,
careful
normally
with
you wouldn't
guns.
leave something like that unattended, but you
It doesn't
trust it
matter.
so much, and you know that piece of equipment is doing a
and
good
the thing
job.
is
right?
I normally don't leave it like completely unattended. Like normally I'm sitting on the couch and it's like
Within
right
15
there.
feet, right?
Not
Well,
even
we'll put
really.
it this way though. How dangerous is this? If you're coyote hunting and you're standing in a field with your gun on your bog pod, and you walk out there to go put your call out, but your gun's mounted on your bog pod,
Oh
and
yeah,
it falls over while you're in the field,
right.
that's a problem.
So here was a
Well,
here-
it's never, you don't never load it until you go out
Right.
there
I'm
and
saying
it's ready.
even
So it's
still,
not
I
sitting
mean,
there loaded. But
here's
exactly, I get what you're saying.
here's what BogPod told me. Now, obviously, I'm trying to get this thing warranted, so I didn't tell them the whole truth. I mean, I fibbed a little bit. They asked me what you were doing when this happened. I told them I was sitting right beside it,
You were.
and I technically was.
not lying.
I just
10 feet
10 feet
with a door.
beside it, right, with a door between us. But no, I mean, I told them I was sitting right beside it, and they told me that's why it's not being warranted because you left it unattended.
Well, the
Oh,
thing
wow.
is can we not lock them in there and then go take a piss and come back? and
Right.
hunt?
Right.
Well, I mean,
Or
you know,
better yet, turn around to turn your collar off
Or anything.
anything.
So
look
was
at your
was the
phone.
leg still locked?
The lock on the side was still closed and locked. And
you can't adjust those.
I
Flint,
have-
did
you
you
can't
run?
tighten those.
Did Flint run out there and knock it over?
right. No, I mean it's
What about
wild though. I mean the fact that thing just
right.
fell
That is
over
wild.
like that. But it's all
That
right.
makes
I
me
mean,
a little nervous about
yeah,
mine now, to be honest with you.
I know. So
Yeah.
I actually started looking at different tripods and possibly considering another one. But
My tripod's a homemade camera stand with a DeWalt wood clamp bolted to it, and it works great for me. So if you want me to make you one, I'll make you one for $2,000.
Okay, and here you go.
so
Moody contracted.
That's right. I'm gonna get into the bog pod business.
So we talked about statistics for a couple of weeks. We've brought some things up. I want to tell y'all something that's kind of cool. You'll get a kick out of this. We've had quite a few downloads in the past couple of months.
Fantastic.
Speaking of that, real quick, I need to text my wife, and she told me she listened to the last episode today.
And you're still married.
And she said, the part where you said, you texted me and told me that, oh yeah, babe, we're still podcasting. So tonight she said, make sure you update me on what's going on. So
Well, you better
All
text
right, let's
her.
take a photo. Everybody in.
While you're texting her, here's updated. No, I'm not going to give numbers, but some updated, somewhat statistics of this podcast. We have had a percentage from Germany, Canada, and Russia.
Wow.
kind of scary.
It's wild.
Wow.
It's kind of cool.
It is. Interesting.
And in the different states, we have had 12 different states log on and listen to the podcast.
Wow. Thank you.
Wow, Thank you
So,
so much.
Thank
We
you
just
so
want to say
much.
thank you guys for
Absolutely.
I'm
We'll
not
try and
sure
keep
how
it
much you can relate to us down here, but in Georgia, but that's,
Yeah.
that's
We'll
just cool.
try and keep it interesting for you.
Well, the
Yeah.
kicker to me is
Y'all.
we have a pretty good bit of listeners in California.
California.
Yep. So, Flynt,
Flynt Rock. Come on, baby. Tell
It's
that
your
story
moment,
we
baby.
got going
Please
on.
welcome our new host, Flynt Pierce.
yeah. Flynt, we're going to go and start off with a question here.
All right.
Do you remember your first hunting experience and maybe why you like hunting and what made you really enjoy it?
I was 7 years old and I shot my first deer. I was so excited. That's what really got me into hunting.
Did you get that feeling?
I got a little nervous feeling, and I had a good feeling about that.
So do you remember what happened? Do you remember that story or?
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
So we wait there for about maybe an hour or two, maybe an hour and a half. A little 4-point comes up. My dad said, shoot that. I shoot it. It runs around. My dad said, give me the gun just in case so I can put it down. Well, as soon as I give my dad the gun, he's doing circles and he drops down.
He dropped right there. Yep.
That's awesome.
That
I
was fun, wasn't it?
so excited. I mean, I was probably about to cry that time. I was so excited.
Oh man, that's all on video too.
So proud.
Yeah.
That was a great time.
I think we all get that sometimes.
Yeah.
Get a little
Sure.
pumped up and just can't explain
Well, that's
it.
what lit the fire. I mean, you came in here wearing all camo, and I asked him when he came in here, I said, have you been hunting today? He said, no, just hanging out.
That's my school clothes.
He's definitely eat
I've
up
been
with
wearing them all day.
That is so funny. I love it.
it. He's literally just a smaller version of Curry.
All over again. And it's fun to see. It makes him shake. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talk
Yeah.
about and what drives us and what helps us
And
to.
it's cool to sit here and
Yeah.
see the generation from Dwight passed down hunting to Curry, passed down hunting to Flynt. Flynt will soon pass it down. When he has
I know.
kids one day, it's just cool
Yeah.
to see.
Exactly. I'm not going to lie. I was sitting here for a minute and I was sitting here looking at Curry and I was looking at Flynt and I almost teared up a little bit. I was sitting there thinking, wow, that is amazing to
A
see.
lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah. I can't wait to see his kids want to do it. That's what we're
Yeah.
trying to do. Make a legacy,
He's
live
gotta
on.
find a girlfriend first.
He don't need any girls.
Do you have a girlfriend, Flynt? Because if
Yeah.
you do, you should probably shout her out because you might get in trouble if you don't.
Yep. Shout out to Stella.
Oh my goodness. There it is.
That's the difference
All
between
right,
Flynt
Stella.
and Curry right there. We have a host now who, he's got it going on. It's
Yeah.
a Curry. I mean, it's a miracle that Curry got with Eden and that whole story. That's a cool story we should tell.
That
on
is
here.
a fantastic story. That should be told
It's like
one
Beauty
day.
and the Beast.
Absolutely. What
Speaking
do
of
you
the
think?
beast, Flynt, it's time.
Oh yeah, the beast.
You ready to talk about it?
Yeah.
All right. Chocolate.
We've been looking forward to this story.
Yeah. So this is what happened. So we saw him on camera, and I just came over and they're like, he has a chocolatey rack and all that. I said, hey, why don't we call him Chocolate? And they were like, yeah, that's a good name and all that. And so they just decided letting me go hunting for it.
Since you named it, you come up with it.
Yeah.
Love it.
We went out to go see if I can kill him. Didn't see it, but we did see this.
Last year.
Yep. We
So
did.
last year we hunted him hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we was in the stand,
Almost
probably
all the
3 or
time.
4 times
A week.
at least a week.
Talking about a pretty nice deer, too.
And this is the year before, but I killed another 8-pointer when we were trying to kill Chocolate.
So you're skipping a pretty important part. Do you remember last year we was actually sitting in the stand and we saw him?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? He came off to
Yeah.
our left. He started easing in,
Mm-hmm.
and then something spooked him.
Yeah, he was coming in. We don't know what happened. I mean, I think it could have been like I spooked him. Dad could have spooked him.
It could have been anything.
Probably curry.
It could have been anything. But after that, like this another 8-pointer comes in.
Well, not the same hunt.
It's not the
Was
same.
it the same? It wasn't the same hunt.
I'm not for sure, but
I don't think it was the same hunt.
another 8-pointer comes in, and Dad said, do you want to shoot that one, or do you want to still hunt for chocolate? I said, I want to shoot that one. I feel like that could be a better one than chocolate for right now at my age. I'm like 8 or 9 at this point. So
you decided to let chocolate walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I knew next year he would have been a bigger deer.
That's right.
That's pretty crazy at that age to be thinking about that.
That's exactly right.
Well, he knows. I mean, in something we've been working on, we're going to try to grow up to our deer.
Let these deer mature.
And then more than anything, work on letting young deer walk.
Right. But, at that age, it's so hard. When you see a deer with antlers on it, you're like.
For sure.
I couldn't imagine
this
at
is
10
mine.
years old.
No.
Or
Well,
at that
10
time,
years,
8 years old. I mean, seriously.
I mean, exactly. I mean, at 9 years old, I don't even know that I was ready to.
I didn't even know deer had antlers at 9 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that I was ready to pull a trigger.
Back in those days, Curry, we didn't have that quality, but, and have those decisions we can make. We didn't have the cameras and stuff. Again, as we've been talking in the past, we didn't have the option to be able to do the things. So taking you hunting was like, all right, let's see what we can see. It's not like you're ready for it and prepared, like he said, with a camera.
So you let the chocolate walk.
Yeah. And so we shoot that deer. He runs off about 20 miles.
20 miles.
I mean, 20.
It wasn't far. It probably about 30 yards.
Yeah, 30 yards, something like that. Well, Dad and me go find it. Then next year, so this is last year, we we're going after school just to at maybe 5 o'clock just to go see if I can shoot a doe or something.
I think at this time he hadn't showed up on the camera or anything yet, right?
No, you talking about this year?
I mean, technically last year.
Well, I'm
but
saying this
year.
season.
Yeah.
We were going. Yes, you're right. You were going to go shoot a doe.
But then Dad was home by in 10 minutes, something like that. He said, Flynt, chocolate showed up this morning. I think we got to go. So we went. We saw 2 does, 2 baby does. We didn't see anything else. We saw a couple squirrels. And then we go the next night. Well, we sit there for about maybe an hour and a half. And then we see the deer that chocolate shows up with. That feeling, I feel like God was telling me, Flynt, get ready. Chocolate's coming.
Oh, that's awesome.
So when you saw his running mate?
So the scenario is chocolate literally showed up 2 days prior to this. He showed up that morning. Well, then from there, he was there that morning, not that night because we hunted that night. Did we? I don't think we went the next night. We skipped the night or we went the next night?
We went the next night.
Okay, well then the next morning, that 4-pointer showed up again, and chocolate was right behind him. And
he normally stays with chocolate.
Well, the 3 times that we had or 2 times we saw the chocolate, that 4-pointer came
just
out.
His running mate.
Right,
you just kind of knew that he was, coming.
And that happens a lot when you're hunting.
Just like
actually,
a bachelor,
deer will hang out.
group.
Yeah, they were a bachelor
Absolutely.
group, and they were running together for sure. But it was just cool that we both. We realized that within 2 pictures, 3 pictures, that deer's here.
Yeah.
They're that quick.
So
He was able to pattern them really quick.
So while I was at that moment, I was scared. That's probably the most scared I've been in my life.
Well, you keep saying scared. You mean just nervous?
Nervous.
So nervous.
Making you shake.
My legs were shaking so bad.
Well, you
I
got
was
God
shaking.
speaking to you and deer coming in.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
big deal.
He comes in, I shoot.
Well, so the small one comes in first.
Yeah.
Yep.
He comes in just he's just eating corn. He has this little dot on him. Well, I shoot right on that dot.
You're talking about chocolate at this point.
Yeah,
So chocolate comes in a few minutes
later.
later. He's kind of eating, moseying around.
Yeah, he's just relaxing. He looks up when my dad puts us off safety. And he has a little dot, like I said.
Yep.
I shoot right on that.
Right.
It was just crazy. And my dad was saying, you buried it. You buried it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
The coolest video I've ever seen in my life.
That is the best.
Well, we go back. We watch the footage and everything like a million times to see if I killed
Before
him.
you start going looking for him.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure we got a good shot.
And then at one point, I go to Dad and say, Dad, I feel like God's telling me he's dead and he's laying on the ground. Well, we didn't really want to like take chances and like go out there and do that, so we called my dad's friend Jordan. Yeah,
we just didn't want to chance it on a good deer.
Yeah, we
like
didn't
that.
want to
No.
chance. He's like a drone guy.
So the thermal drone?
Yeah, the thermal drone.
Yeah, so
We're just standing there. I'm like praying he's dead, and then he sees something. It's just a raccoon in the tree. 30 seconds later, he says, I think that's chocolate. That's a deer right there. He says, let me make sure he's dead. He said, he's dead. I was like,
he was
yes,
dead. He wasn't moving at all. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was so excited. And this is like one of like Darla's, Darla gets this from me, my puppy. And so she goes, finds it. It was a great time too. I mean, it was the best.
It was fun. It was a good night.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's such a cool story.
It really is.
It gives it, when I think about that video, when I texted Curry immediately after I saw it, I was like, dude, I said, I'm in my bed tearing up.
I know.
Watching that just because it's so powerful. I mean,
it really
to
is.
see a kid like Flynt, I mean, he's a great kid all around. He's a better race car driver than Curry. That's what I know him. I know him mostly from race car stuff, but to see his reaction to that and to see Curry to be able to react with him and have it on video. I mean,
to be your own son.
What would you
you
give Dwight to have Curry's first deer on HD video in front of you to be able to look back on? I mean,
here's the thing. I can still feel and remember that feeling when he shot his first deer and how it's just, I don't know, as a dad, it's amazing. And you want to see them grow and mature into things that you love and see them grow and mature into things that they love. And, I can see that video inside my own head, but I can't put it on something where everybody else can see it. And that would be awesome. At this point, with Curry doing the stuff and the updated and things and spending time with his children and videoing and taking them hunting
and he's got Forrest.
Yeah, and he actually involves me in a lot of it, and I really appreciate that because he'll call me and say, "Hey, Flynt just shot a deer. He just got chocolate." So I'm like, "Man, I can't get off work fast enough. I'm getting in the car and to go." So it's just awesome stuff. I love it, and I appreciate it.
But I did not include you this past weekend.
Yeah. Well, I did get my feelings hurt a little bit, but you know what?
Oh, did you shoot another deer?
I didn't. It didn't bother me so bad because Curry looks at me. He says, "Dad, you're gonna be mad at me." And I'm sitting here and I'm going, what'd you do?
What'd we do, Flynt?
And then Flynt turns around and looks at me and
I shot my first wood duck.
Yeah, baby.
Was it a hen?
It was a male.
It was a Drake?
Drake.
Oh, he got the
Drake.
You
got lucky there because every time I
that
take
don't happen all the time.
Yeah.
No.
So we have a little swamp behind the house and there's not normally many birds in there, but there's a lot of wood ducks and stuff that fly over. And I was like, you know what? We was getting ready for a duck hunting trip, and I just wanted to make sure he
see if he'd even want to be interested in it.
See if he was ready for it. See if he wanted to do it. And we threw 5 decoys out, Mojo, and started calling them in, and
didn't call Dad.
Didn't call Dad.
Lee, that's right.
The scenario is
not gonna let it go.
We made this decision between me and my wife at
the excuses
12 o'clock the night of, and we was like,
was up.
He might have been for sure because he stays up, because at some point.
But sometimes in his defense, you do need that father-son bond, and Pop don't have to be there. But I
disagree.
Yeah, maybe you'll figure it out one day.
Hey, Dwight, if they do that to you again, you call me and you will go hunting, okay?
Okay.
So what I was saying was we had these decoys out there and they were flying all around us and we made this decision kind of last minute. I woke him up at 6:30 and
6:02, I think.
No, 6:30 something.
I had my Alexa or something.
Okay, well maybe it was 6:02. I don't remember. But anyways, you rolled over, you looked at the clock, you said, "What are we doing?" I said, "We're gonna go duck hunting." He said, "Yeah, I'll go." So I said,
Sure. That's exactly what I said.
Sure.
Exactly.
So we get out there, throw these decoys out, and we have quite a few groups flying around. And then we had 2 circle in and land and lock up, come right to the decoys. And I'm talking about they landed right perfect and right beside our flyway. And
wow, that's awesome.
They start swimming around this bend. And I said, Flynt, you see that one swimming right there?
I said, yep. So I'm looking down the barrel. I'm shaking. I'm like, I don't know what. Like,
I said, shoot him.
Well,
next thing you know, you pull the trigger, and what's he do? He rolls right over.
I've seen this guy. I've seen this kid dove hunt this year. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, he done good on the dove.
He shot that thing. Next thing you know, roll over, white belly up, flip for a second, and
yeah.
And of course, Dad over here couldn't wait for a few more seconds for birds to come in more. I had to get out there and get that bird.
Absolutely, you got to go get it.
Yeah, I'm running to this bird. We got birds slapping us on the head.
You're so proud of your son. You just want. I'm like, man, he just.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
this is awesome.
There were birds slapping us in the back of the head.
And when I shot, I fell over.
He did. He fell on his back.
Did he really?
Yes.
That's fine. The only thing I can relate to that is my chocolate lab's name is Flynt. I kind of stole it from Curry.
Oh, that's awesome.
Flynt River.
Yeah.
I planned on that for a long time.
It's a great name.
You have a chocolate lab.
Chocolate lab, and his name's Flynt, and he acts just like you. But I took him hunting, and when he got his first retrieve, I don't have a son, but it was that same feeling of like, I don't care what else happens in this hunt. If this hunt's over now, as long as he goes and gets that bird and brings it back to me, good for
that's it.
That
you really would rather your son do it than you. I mean, that's actually the way you feel. So I know what Curry's feeling. Congratulations. Absolutely. Good job, Flynt.
It was a great time, though. So
I loved it.
And I told Curry after that, I said, well, now he's going to spend all of his time and all of his money on duck hunting.
It is addictive.
It's a good time. And man,
Curry's already ordered the Benellis.
Yeah. We're at a point where he's kind of I know some people might look at it different, but he generally shoots his 20 gauge. It's a little too heavy for him, to do it a long time and to be consistent and accurate. I mean, he could shoot with it. It's just like dove season, he shot maybe a box or two, and then from
duck
there,
load's a lot heavier too than doves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they kick harder.
Right. And then from there, he, switches to his 410 for pretty much the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, to shoot one with a 410 is pretty impressive, to be honest with you.
It's like the lower you go, the harder it gets.
Well, his dad likes it. We talked about it on a couple episodes ago.
I love shooting 410.
Yeah, 410's a good shotgun.
Well, I guess now that he's a duck killer, it's time to give it up, Curry, and go back to normal guns, normal adult guns that you should be shooting, not 44 Magnums.
Hey,
if it makes you shake, dude.
Right. Guys, we appreciate you listening.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. I had
Thanks
fun
for coming
talking
on,
to
Flynt. Don't forget to hit that like, that follow, that notification button. And remember, guys, if it makes you shake, don't wait. Don't hesitate. Shoot that thing.